Hey everybody, welcome back. Review a Day, episode number 188. I'm Leland and thank you guys for joining me. Guys, do me a favor, head over to nitpickit.com and check out episode number 44 of the Nitpickit podcast because we have a lengthy discussion about Twilight Saga New Moon, the film An Education with Carey Mulligan that everyone has been buzzing about. I'll also put a review up of that in the next couple days. We talk about the Italian gangster film Gomorrah, a really interesting little Italian unromanticized account of the Gomorrah in Italy. Very interesting. And we also discussed the movie I'm reviewing for you guys today, Precious, based on the novel Push by Sapphire. Precious is about an overweight, illiterate, pregnant teenager in Harlem. It's set in the late 80s, played by Gabori Sidibe, a first-time actress. Precious' life is pretty terrible. She lives with her abusive mother, played by VH1 Charm School's Monique, very famous comedian, plays her mother without makeup. Precious gets enrolled into an alternative school where she kind of hopes her life will head in a new direction. That's what the plot summary says anyways. I will say that I have a lot of respect for what Precious is setting out to do. This is a movie that is telling the story of an inner city African-American experience that this story probably would not get told in a mainstream Hollywood film. You know, you're not going to see a lot of honesty about the inner city experience in a movie like The Ugly Truth or something like that. So for that, I have a whole lot of respect for it. This movie does not shy away from some of the more awful things that happen in life. And that I think that is commendable and that is something to applaud. And I say kudos to Tyler Perry and Oprah Winfrey for backing a film that is this harrowing and this dark, because had it not been for them, I guarantee you this movie would not have been made. There's no way that anyone who would read the screenplay of this film would go, yeah, let's get everyone to watch this uplifting little flick. The performances across the board are really very terrific. Gabori Sidibe, the first-time actress who plays Precious, is terrific. She's really understated, and Precious does not say a lot. She has some pretty great narration, but you absolutely feel for Precious the entire film. You know that this girl could probably do anything she wanted to if she could just reach for the stars. Monique will undoubtedly get I think she's a shoo-in for a Best Supporting Actress nomination. She really gives a terrific performance. There is a monologue at the end of this film that Monique gives that is it's heartbreaking, it's terrific, it makes you feel things from Monique's character that you would not have expected. You really start to, I don't want to say sympathize, but you think about her in a different way than you have the entire film, and it's really just some great acting. Even the smaller supporting roles from Mariah Carey and Lenny Kravitz and Sherry Shepherd, they're all great. They really didn't take me out. But, you know, that being said, as Larry David said on the finale of Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think what keeps Precious from being a truly great film is its heavy-handedness and its lack of authenticity, I think. We know that Precious's circumstances are terrible and that they're holding her back, not because the movie shows us it, but because Monique literally says it to Precious. She says, you'll never amount to anything. I should have aborted you. She literally says this stuff. She throws shoes at her. And I like when movies show me, don't tell me. I don't need a character to tell me that Precious shouldn't have been aborted, that she's a dummy, and that she'll never be anything. You can get that across in other ways. And I think just because a film succeeds at making you feel terrible, which Precious will, I mean, this movie is a fucking journey. You will leave this theater wanting to take a nap and want to take a Zoloft. Just because a movie is depressing, I don't think necessarily makes it a great film. And I think what I mean by that is you will have an emotional reaction to this film, but I could tell you what happens in this movie, and you will have an emotional reaction right now, just me explaining it to you. So I think, of course, you're going to have this reaction to the film. It's just subjecting you to some of the most depressing things that possibly could. It's incredibly melodramatic. And it's kind of it just really beats you over the head with how terrible her life is. And I honestly think that's kind of cheap. I don't think it's that hard to do. I think you read the synopsis of this film and you're already depressed. So you're already that much into it. I have to strongly disagree. This movie is not uplifting, and that's what I kept hearing from critics and from everyone who's seen this movie. It's uplifting. You'll feel great about your life. You will feel great about your life in the sense that you are glad you aren't her. Like, oh, I'm glad I'm not Precious. But I don't think that's life affirming. I don't think that's uplifting. And I think the final shot of this movie isn't uplifting, but they do play an upbeat R&B song to kind of make us feel like everything's gonna be okay. But if you think for a single second about the circumstances of what she has, the things that she, no matter how hard she tries, she will deal with for the rest of her life till the day she dies, which there is a bomb dropped about 3/4 away in the film, kids style, I would say, that when you think about it for a second, she's really not all that off that better, and I was still thoroughly depressed. I think Precious is a good movie. I think it's worth seeing for the performances alone from Gabourey Sidibe and to see Monique do what she does. I just didn't find it great, and I found it a little bit manipulative. I give Precious a 3.5 out of 5. I think had they cut out the F-bombs and some of the graphic rape in this movie, it seems like something you could have seen on the Lifetime Network or something like that. If you guys like this review, make sure to head over to nitpicket.com or dampercast.com. I thank you in advance, and I'll see you guys next time.